Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Attadipa bhikkave viharata attasarana ananya sarana. Dhammadipa dhammasarana ananya saranati ti. As we discussed yesterday, so we were discussing Attadipa Sutta, be an island unto ourselves, be a refuge to oneself. So this is a very interesting theme where Buddha emphasized, because how sometimes we always look for some external support, some external, say, savior, external source, coming and helping us, coming and saving us, liberating us. So that kind of a mentality is prevalent in the human history. And we think, okay, someone will come and save me and they'll take me out from this suffering. So something like that, sometimes we have such kind of a mentality. But on the other hand, Buddha, he emphasized, okay, you have the potential, you have the possibility, you have that capacity. And he encouraged us to develop an attitude where Attadipa viharata attasarana ananya sarana. So you need to think, okay, you are the master, you are the refuge, you have that potential, you have that skill which can be developed so that you can liberate yourself. So Buddha, being the first person who did that, so he has given a guideline, so we also following that. So he encouraged us, okay, you got to be your refuge, you got to be your island, you got to be your savior. I am not your savior. So Buddha simply say that tumhe kiccang atappang akkhataro tathagata patipanna pamokhantu jahaino mara bandhana. Tumhe kiccang atappang, you yourself have to exert effort. Akkhataro tathagata, the tathagatas, the Buddhas are merely the, say, showing the guidelines, they are merely the teachers. Patipanna pamokhantu, so the ones who are practicing, they are being released. Jahaino mara bandhana, who are meditating, who are being released from the bondage of the mara. So simple as that. So the responsibility comes up to us. So Buddha has shown the path, so it is our own responsibility. So here, more than that now, here there's another emphasis. So true, that emphasis is in our side, responsibility is in our side. But more than that even, now he is asking to use this very body, asking to use very mind, so that we develop that capacity. It is not that we looking at outside and develop that capacity, rather we being our body, observing our body, investigating our body, observing our thoughts, our emotions, our, say, perceptions. So you develop that capacity within ourselves. That's very interesting. Kind of coming back to ourselves, understanding our true nature, so that we ultimately develop kind of a capacity even to, say, liberate ourselves. Very interesting phenomena that more than telling, okay, you are hopeless, you are helpless, okay, there is a savior, so you need to respect to him, he will save you. So we become known helpless, hopeless, sinners. But now you have a different approach, okay? You have the capacity. You need to look at yourself. Everything is possible. Everything is potentially available. Okay, you can do it by yourself. Guideline is given. Something like that. So kind of a mature approach. So sometimes difficult, because sometimes people expect an external force come in and liberating us. External force is there. Is that going to come to save Sri Lanka? This Diyasen Kumaraya going to come and he will do the whole thing? No, you are the one. So simple as that. So if we do it right now, that's it. If not, we will miss the chance. Something like that. So here in this Attadipa Sutta, so he is giving that capacity to us. And now you need to look at the body. And yesterday we started how to look at the feelings. So as we discussed, looking at bodily feelings is not that difficult. So it's bodily feelings. They are gross and possible to recognize. There may be some painful feeling, yes, I can recognize it. Previously I was driven by that, I was crying, I was lamenting. It has drawn into the level of emotions. I was so emotional, I was driven by them. But now, okay, I am now going to look at feelings. So Vedananupassana, in that sense, another area that we have to develop, where certain feelings are there, so you are looking at feeling as a feeling. Assume that we develop Anapanasati, there is in-breath, okay, I am looking at in-breath as in-breath. There is out-breath, okay, I am looking at out-breath as out-breath. Similarly, same approach, same perspective, okay, there is a feeling, so I am looking at that feeling as it is. There is a painful feeling, there is a kind of sorrowful feeling, there is a pleasurable feeling, there is a happy feeling. So that there is this. So this is throughout the, even, if you recognize the first noble truth, idang dukkhang ariya satchang, there is suffering, isn't it? There is suffering. It is not that I am suffering, this is my suffering, why poor me suffering, rather there is suffering. I mean, it is easy to tell like this, but when there is suffering, when there is headache, when there is stomach ache, when there is back pain, when there is neck pain, look at, okay, there is suffering, there is pain, there is a bodily sickness. So in a way we can look at, I mean, these are kind of opportunities for us to directly practice. So sometimes when we are going through a pleasurable feeling, sometimes we are driven by that. Because pleasurable feelings are so fantastic and we like that, we want to be that. So why do I want to step back and watch it? Because I am enjoying it. Isn't it? So don't disturb me, I want to enjoy it. I am going through a good time. So don't disturb me. But here we are trying to look at even that. Okay, there is a pleasurable feeling. So as we discussed yesterday, when it comes to the unworldly kind of feelings, the niramisa type of feelings, so that could be even difficult. Because maybe if you are a little familiar with some gross sensual feelings, if you are familiar with some gross worldly kind of feelings, probably we can understand. But the niramisa piti, niramisa kind of happiness, even subtle, as we discussed yesterday. Say when you are going through some kind of a jhanic experience, for example. So the tendency is to absorb to that, be with it, enjoy that to the maximum, expecting that also next time, so that we are in a way kind of an indulgence. Even though it's a kind of unworldly kind of happiness, but looking at it objectively could be difficult. So that is the first step that Buddha teaches us in the Vedananupassana. Piti patisangvedi assa sissamiti sikkati. Sukha patisangvedi assa sissamiti sikkati. Okay, there is a rapturous feeling. There is a bodily comfort. There is a floating kind of an experience. There are goosebumps. There are waves like bodily pleasure. So how am I looking at them objectively? So objectively looking at it. It is not me, it is not mine, it is not myself. Rather, they are merely very sublime kind of feelings. Fine. Niramisa piti. And we don't know when it goes away. So that we are quite detached with it. Otherwise, what happens is we are expecting a kind of a niramisa piti which prevalent for long time. If it does not happen, I am not happy about my meditation. If it happens, I think, okay, my meditation is quite successful. And if it happens, I want to enjoy that to the maximum. And this is how we sort of assess our meditation, isn't it? So when you are sitting, you have some kind of an expectation. Okay, this is how I have to go through it. I should experience this way. Okay, I have to enjoy it. I deserve that kind of a bliss. So this is the way probably we may be sitting. But unfortunately, it might not happen. It didn't happen the way I want. But I experienced this kind of a boredom. So yawning happen, nodding happen, sounds happen, say thoughts happen. So different experience happen. Not the the blissful experience that I expected has happened. So this is the reality. So are we able to accept even that? So that is the the maturing happens. So it is not then how many days you have the the salary day. What's that called? Payday. How many paydays in a month? Assume that you are going on, you are a permanent employee in a particular company. Per month, how many paydays? Every day? Just once a month, right? Typically once a month. But for how long you need to work for that? So are we expecting paydays every day? Oh, isn't it? I mean, we have a wrong kind of an attitude. So we think that every day has to be a payday during our meditation. If not, so I am not happy. But payday is only just once a while. That is also not the time that you expect, but that is when the things are properly aligned, and then it happens. Not the time that you want, but the time the things are properly aligned, properly balanced, then it happens. It's in a way pretty difficult sometimes, because we expect payday every day, but it's not happening. So I get little worried about it, disgusted about meditation, but all of a sudden things are happening. Very interesting. But trying hard every day. But the result happen on a different way. Like you are simply walking away from Kalalgoda, going back home. You got an empty CTB bus. Nobody is getting in, just feeling a little bored and looking at away from the the window, and feeling little happy because there is no disturbance and it's a kind of a paddy field, and very far you looking at, this is it. Kind of a release can happen. Because sometimes we struggle too much during the meditation session, put too much effort. We don't know how to balance, and we are struggling. We are, straightening, stretching, jumping, deciding, again straightening. So different ways that we are trying hard. So all that could be sometimes beneficial, sometimes not beneficial. So anyway, so looking at feelings as feelings, particularly when we are going through meditation, particularly say Anapanasati. So it may be the pleasurable feelings that we are observing, pleasant feelings that we are observing as it is, not making myself, not having any kind of an attachment, but it's a mere pleasant feeling. So if we go through like that, then probably we can have a mindset which is so kind of equanimous, even though the body is going through some pleasurable feeling. So mind is a little equanimous. Mind has some maturity. Like say you being a mother, you being a father, watching how children are playing, how children are joyful. So they are assume that you have given a new toy to your child, and he's so happy about it, really happy. But you being the mother, you being the father, you can watch it, isn't it? So how he or she is enjoying it. So do you have the same happiness by having that toy? No, I mean you are a mother, you are more matured. So like that, so your mind is more matured, but the body is going through that kind of a blissful experience. So you watch it. You being the mother, you being the father, but not the child now. So body is going through very beautiful experience, really blissful, but you being the mother, father, you simply watch it objectively. Because this can change. So while playing, the child get into a little accident. He might lose the balance. It also can happen. Then again, the alignment vary, and mind again come back to the kind of an equanimity, but still you are watching. So it's going up and down. Again you do the adjustment, again the bliss happen, again you are watching, again the intensity change, again comes back, again neutralize, you are still watching all these variations. And sometimes as we continue like that, so this gross happiness, gross pleasurable sensations, even what you get through meditation can become more matured, more contented. So now the body is more calm, relaxed, more contented. So the happiness is different. Previously little vulnerable, kind of gross kind of happiness, but now it's a kind of matured kind of happiness. So happy but not laughing, a slight smile, something like that. So it's a more matured kind of happiness. Sukha patisangvedi asasissamiti sikkati. So the body feeling comfort and mind also quite relaxed, no burden, but you are watching how things are varying, how things are changing. And next Buddha say, Chitta sankhara patisangvedi asasissamiti sikkati. Now even it can go to the very subtle levels, say more and more refined scrutiny you have, more refined, careful attention you have. So you can even recognize very subtle changes happening in the mind. So now we are getting to the, say, the mental happiness, mental, the tones, mental feelings. So how they are also coming and going. Say for example, when there is a kind of pleasant contact, there may be a pleasant feeling. When there is a little gross, maybe hard type of contact, okay, there may be a painful feeling. So how contact causes feeling? So that's another area, very rich area, if one can recognize. Because Vedanānupassana is a really rich area for us to understand the Patissamuppada. Because the contact is the primary cause for generating various feelings. And time to time, probably you can understand, okay, while I am walking, the ground is pleasant, now I feel like floating. Okay, everything is very smooth, each and every step bringing me some kind of happiness. Previously, it's very much like bored, but now even walking has become a very pleasant experience. It was quite ordinary, bored previously, but now I am feeling happy while walking. Okay, I feel happy while breathing. Each breath brings me happiness. This subtle sensation brings me happiness. So sensation, contact, causes happiness. Probably, if we go to the next level, so happiness, once it's available, there could be a desire for that. I want it. Oh, beautiful. So the mind reacts. So how the mind tempts to attach to that? How mind tempts to attract to that? So when there is a feeling, there could be the next level, Vedana paccaya tanha. So when pleasurable feelings, when pleasant feelings are there, so mind tends to want it. Mind tends to desire for that. Another area, another rich area which we can recognize, how feelings are causing tanha, how feelings are causing different desires. Say for example, you are going through some good food. Say you are having your dinner, your lunch, and you got a ice cream, whatever, chocolate, whatever it is. So it's giving a very pleasant experience. So how you are looking at the wrapper, oh, what is that brand? I didn't eat that one. So you offer me dana, and today what that something, and then probably if it tastes something delicious, probably I might look at the wrapper. So what's the product? Oh, good. So why is that interest arise, isn't it? So typically no interest, I mean just eating. But all of a sudden there is a kind of a trigger in the mind. So you are a little interested, you are a little enthusiastic about the situation. Now you want to see more details, you want to look the same brand next time, you want to buy that one, you want to call someone, explain, okay, this is the one Bhante you want. I find him interested while that. So all that. So while we are going through that, so unknowingly how the mind has that kind of instinctual, desire arising. Very, very natural. Very naturally we have a tendency. So when there is a taste available, naturally we are tempted to look at it further. We want to have another bite, have another bit, have another drink, have another bite. So likewise, so all that, very, very instantaneously that temptation happens. But if we are not mindful, we immediately take that and eat that. We didn't notice the desire, isn't it? We didn't notice the desire, but rather I am being driven by the desire. I am simply acting according to it. I haven't even noticed the desire. But noticing the desire and recognizing how mind has a little enthusiasm, has little triggered, little elated, how it has come to that kind of a ripple available in the mind now. It was in a very, very peaceful state. Now a kind of a ripple arises in the mind. So how that ripple happens? So as a result of this feeling, the feeling has conditioned the mind for that to desire what is the ingredient, what is the content, what is the recipe that today my wife has used. What is the recipe? Maybe. So something like that. So the desires are another area that we can recognize. So actually now we are going to the Chittanupassana. So the feelings are a very rich area. One area is that the contact causes feeling. Another area is feeling causes craving, tanha, desires. So these three areas actually, these three links are easy to recognize the Patissamuppada. The other areas could be a little difficult for a beginner, but this is some rich area, possible area for a practitioner who is practicing Vedananupassana to get into further analysis, understanding of Patissamuppada even. Because we sometimes need that kind of some rich area for us to develop. And more and more you recognize different kinds of feelings, and what you recognize is that they don't last long time. So maybe a pleasurable feeling, maybe a painful feeling, maybe an equanimous feeling, but they are short-lived. So I have very less control. Contact is the definitive factor, the decisive factor, but I have very less control. If that particular contact happens, okay, the feeling could happen, but if it does not happen, the feeling not going to happen. So I have very less control. And again, when it is there, I am still watching it, but it is also subject to variations. Intensity changes, variations are happening, and you might think, okay, there is a pleasant feeling, it lasted for 5 minutes. There was a painful feeling, it lasted for 4 minutes. There was a kind of a boring kind of feeling, it lasted another 5 minutes. So likewise, you have a little bit of understanding. Later, as a result of this observation, further the faculties are improving, sharpening. Mindfulness is improving, concentration improves, and you are learning how to balance your observation. And now you are not putting too much effort, you are not getting into any drowsiness, but carefully watching each and every feeling. And now probably you are seasoning yourself, maturing, recognizing carefully. So now probably the feelings become more short-lived. Not 5 minutes, it become maybe even 1 minute. Maybe even, say, 40 seconds, maybe even 10 seconds, 1 second. So if we come to that level, so the feelings are very, very short-lived. So it is not a kind of a happy feeling, it's a group of pleasurable feelings produced, and we perceive it as a happy feeling, but internally, truly, what is available are a group of very minute feelings. So if we are looking at like that, so the impermanence become more sharp. So the impermanence become really prominent. And all the different feelings are subjected to this kind of a destiny. Either it may be pleasurable feeling, either it could be painful feeling, either it could be neutral feelings, doesn't matter. Everything has very short-lived, minute type of feelings. Now as we going through this kind of an experience, probably you might not even able to understand whether it is a pleasurable feeling or painful feeling or equanimous feeling, because everything is very transient. Some feeling is there, but you can't even name it. Almost very transient glimpses are there, but you can't name it. You can't label whether it is suffering, whether it is, happy, equanimous. Something is there, kind of vibrations are there, little feelings are there. You don't know exact category of that feeling. And interesting thing is, so while we are going through that, some internal changes are happening in ourselves. Our character change. Previously we are so interested about a particular brand, we are so interested about a particular type of ice cream, particular kind of a chocolate, particular kind of a taste. But now, whatever is okay. Whatever is okay, just whatever you are, the prominence that we have given has little reduced. So you become little equanimous, even to your, the livelihood. So your typical way of your life also now somewhat changed. Some behavioral changes even can happen. Not that you are simply practicing this on the cushion, but the way you look at your life, how you are reacting to certain situations, how you are dealing with others also can change. Your attitudes can change even though you practice Vipassana on the cushion. While walking, while sitting, you are experiencing all these changes, all these arising and passing away of different feelings, but your perceptions also change. The way you are looking at the things also change. So that's an interesting thing. So that you can't actually do by forcefully. Say you can't willfully change yourself, but rather the practice has changed you even without much of your notice. So how you are dealing with a particular situation, how you are approaching a particular incident. Previously you may be immediately jumping into conclusions, immediately reacting, immediately get into arguments, but now you have a capacity to watch it. And previously you are complaining about the situations, but now you can bear it. You have some patience, forbearance. So things are changing now. So that is how the meditation is now internalizing. They started operating within ourselves. So behavioral changes have happened. So now you are not the same person as before. And others might even notice it. Your husband might notice it. Your wife might even notice it. Your children might even notice it. Why my mother is not shouting at me often? Your children might notice it. She seems more patient with now. Who made that change? Better she go Kalalgoda. Bante, can you organize Kalalgoda retreat quite often? So they might put another request. So those changes are happening within us. So interesting thing is, even these changes are going on, we are happily observing. So different feelings are changing, changes are there, but we are happily observing. So Buddha explained here in the Attadipa Sutta, Vedanayat veva bhikkave anichatang viditva viparinama viraga nirodham Pubbe cheva vedanaye taracha sabbha vedana anicca dukkha viparinama dhammati. Now whatever the type of different categories of feelings, it may be the past feelings, it may be the present feelings, even it may be the future feelings, now you can even generalize. Actually what you observe is the present feelings, current now, what is happening right now, but you understand, okay, the same thing happened in the past also. Feelings are the feelings. They have the same characteristics. Even in the future I am going to experience these kind of feelings, okay, same thing. So you don't need to, experience them really, but you can inferentially understand, okay, this is the same thing. Whatever the type of feeling, they have these kind of behavior. They have these kind of characteristics. So the prominence that we have given for the pleasurable feelings might reduce. The prominence that we have given or the impatience that we had for painful feelings might have reduced. So you may be even bearing certain situations. You are being patient with certain situations. Even some painful situations you are ready to bear. Say a little bit of heat. Previously assumed that we are quite unbearable and we propose this, we propose that, we propose the wind turbines, we propose the fans, we propose AC, air conditioning, we propose many things. Because, why? We couldn't bear the little heat. But later, okay, it doesn't matter. That is how it is. This is a hot season. Let me go through it. Let me navigate through it. So you are being more patient. So there was a little that I like to share some very past events. That sometimes, certain kutis, when during the rainy season, they start leaking. The Nissarana, most of the time they have the more humidity and a lot of rain. So sometimes starts raining and the roof start leaking. So sometimes people are complaining, monks are complaining. So previously one of the kutis seems given to a yogi, seems to be a foreigner, and he start complaining. And at that time, Thero was the one who is giving the kamatahan. And once it came to him, and it is not that he immediately want to repair it, but the way it came, how a yogi is complaining. The yogi's complaint is another person's complaint are different. So yogis are not supposed to complain. That's the bottom line. Thero is asking, is this a real yogi? So you can see, so the mature yogis have to bear it in a way, rather than even for little things, trivial things, start complaining. So even for a trivial little thing, if we start complaining, if we write notes and pass it and ask him this and that, so where's the maturity? Where is our patience? Are we able to bear little pains and observe them objectively? Don't think. So this is how, even life situations, now if we are able to bear, if we are able to be little patient, so that means, so this practice has helped us. Because the circumstances are changing every time. You can't expect the perfect weather every day. You can't expect a perfect situation every time. Things are always changing. So are we able to bear it without complaining? Because sometimes, even if I complain, there is no carpenter, there is no immediate solution. We have to go through it. So patience is one important characteristic. So without patience, we can't go for painful feelings to observe. So in order to observe painful feelings, we have to have a fair amount of patience. Rather than changing the posture, immediately finding a fault with someone. So how to step back and watch this as a painful feeling. Further, say if there is a pain available in the mind, a kind of a despair, a little bit of sorrow available in the mind, rather than immediately find fault with someone, he is the one who caused me. How about recognizing sorrow as sorrow? Little bit of unhappiness as unhappiness. Little bit of frustration as little bit of frustration available in the mind. So what happens typically is we immediately attribute that to a person. He should be responsible. He should be punished. He should be get out. Should be blacklisted. How about looking at the frustration happening in our mind? So these are the different areas that we need to look at. It is not merely, quite comfortable and sitting and then experiencing pain so that I can experiment. Rather, while we are going through life situations, are we able to practice? Are we able to get the maximum benefit from that? So these are the real opportunities sometimes, because it has happened naturally. And further, more and more we are going through like that, so we are becoming more seasoned yogis. Now we can go through it, we can bear it, I am observing it, so the whole life experiences become a rich field for us to develop wisdom. Now Buddha further mentioned, Evametang yathabhutang sammappanyaya passato ye soka parideva dukkha domanasate pahiyanti. I was crying for trivial things. So we understand, we feel ashamed of why did I write like that? Why did I ask that? Why did I complain that? It's a minor thing. So we feel even ashamed of our behavior. Because now we are more matured, we are more patient, we can look at it properly. So that means by seeing these changes, these vulnerabilities available in this human experience, okay, I am more matured, I can bear it now. So, more equanimous, more even little happiness. Okay, this is what Buddha has mentioned. So they are not under my governance, they are not under my control. So they are dependent on so many other conditions. So I am being not responsible for that, I am not being able to control that. So this is the non-self nature. So let me understand that. For us to understand non-self nature, what else is the possibility, what else is the opportunity? So if things are, self, if things are myself, if things are completely under my control, then I should be able to change all the different kinds of feelings. I should have the controllability. But you know that when we are going through some kind of sickness, when we are going through some kind of bodily pain, when we are going through some kind of discomfort, when we are going through a certain amount of sorrow, so sometimes things are beyond my control. I may have to bear it. I have to be patient. And this helps us to understand, so this is the situation. This is beyond my control. And the result is you start not worrying about it now. You start not complaining about it. Rather, you start being equanimous about it. Little separated from that experience. Things are there, things are happening, but you are not disturbed by that. So, not disturbing, not being attached, not being attracted either, and you are now more equanimous. So the point is, so this is a time that you feel a little dispassionate. So let it happen. Whatever the way I am happy, I am able to accept it. I am able to bear it. So you have a little dispassion arise into the picture. Previously you are so manipulative. I want to change this, I want to change that. Change the color, change the time, adjust the timetable, adjust the recipe, adjust the organizers, change the topic, change the this, change that. So many different kinds of proposals, so many different kinds of opinions, so many different, complaints and suggestions, opinions, many things are there. But now you are trying to change yourself. Not you are trying to change the outside, rather you trying to change yourself. How can I be separate from this whole thing? How can I bear it? How can I understand through that? How can I develop wisdom through this, whatever the change is going on? So the dispassion can cause wisdom. So the more you dispassionately watching, more you dispassionately observing things, so slowly, so your mind finds it not necessary to get involved in all these things. Let me be free. So freedom is possible. So here actually Buddha, rather than immediately telling all that, so he simply say, Tesam pahana na paritassati. So when you stop complaining, you stop all that involvement, manipulations, rather you step back and watching carefully, now only you found the balance, now only you allow the body to naturally walk, like that as we discussed during the afternoon. Now only you saw different feelings are coming and going like waves, like different, waves, clouds in the sky. So Buddha has given a very beautiful simile. So Buddha say, in the upper sky there are different kinds of waves happening. Sometimes cloudy waves, sometimes very rough waves, sometimes dusty kind of waves. Different waves are there. Similarly, this body going through different kinds of waves, different kinds of pains, different kinds of feelings, unavoidable almost like. So they are the nature, they are the characteristics, the inherent characteristics of the body, so I have to accept it. No way to stop it. Painkillers are not the solution, so let me bear it, let me experience it, let me go through it. So more and more you become a kind of a silent observer. Radical acceptance is there. Now you understand, okay, mind is not getting agitated. So the term paritassati. Tesam pahanana paritassati. So that all sorrows, all lamentations, all complaints, all are now abandoned. So now mind is not agitated even in a unfavorable situation. Say today little heat, hot, but assume that the mind is not agitated, mind is not complaining. So you are able to maintain an unagitated mind even when the circumstances are not that favorable. So unagitated mind. So now we are recognizing, okay, there are fairly less suffering now. Situations are bad, not favorable, but less agitation. I don't have a complaining mind, even the situation is bad. So kind of a maturity. No agitation. Mind is relaxed, calm. Say you are getting to a bus, fully packed, and no space even to breathe. How many complaints are there? How the mind reacts? Is it reacting? Is it asking, okay, why my son couldn't come on time? Otherwise I should have been not going through this pain. Why my husband didn't come on time? Otherwise I should have not get into this kind of a troublesome time. So how many complaints are there? He should be responsible. He didn't come on time. That's why I am going through this whole pain. Instead of that, say while going through the bus, while going through the train, when it is fully packed, fully crowded, are we able to bear it? Are we able to maintain unagitated mind? So these are the areas, isn't it? I mean, it is not that we are trying to maintain an unagitated mind only at Kalalgoda. Is it the practice? So are we supposed to maintain unagitated mind only at Kalalgoda and then forget about it and get every time agitated, say restless every time? So is it what are we expecting? Or are we able to, maximize it, develop that capacity to the full level of our life, throughout our life? So then even when someone is blaming, you might have a little, hurtful feelings. You are being hurt. But how about keeping the mind unagitated? Difficult. Suppose someone that you have helped, but he forgot about all your help and he is complaining that you didn't do anything. You are helpless, hopeless. You didn't do anything. Telling like that. So how much of hurt can happen? Painful feeling in the mind. So are we able to bear it? Or are we able to react? Are we able to blame him? Are we able to criticize him? Or are we able to keep the mind unagitated? Difficult. The painful feelings, bodily feelings, possible. But when such kind of situations are happening during our lifetime experiences, so when are we going to observe the mental pain, mental kind of, unhappiness? When are we going to recognize that? At Kalalgoda? We can't provide everything, all the facilities Kalalgoda, isn't it? So all different kind of experience, so okay, the bodily painful feelings, probably I can provide that by keeping you for a long time during the guided sitting. I can try that. One time we tried that, delaying the lunch, I think we tried. That also possible. Maybe next time also we can try. But not everything, no. So while you are going through your life experiences, so time to time you might get blamed, you might get criticized. someone else may hint you, neglected you, cut you off. All that may cause certain little bit of mental unrest, unhappiness, pain. So at that moment, are we really collapsed? Are you completely become, crying, get into tears? Or are we able to look at the pain in the mind, hurt in the mind, sorrow in the mind, and even beyond that, if you can see how you create a self out of that situation, that's another very interesting area, where, say, how he has touched the areas that I am attached to. I am creating a self, and he has touched those upadis. There's a very beautiful verse given by the Buddha. Say, I'll just share that little story. So one time, during the Buddha's time, that the Buddha and the Sangha become very popular. So all the other ascetics are not getting enough food, not getting enough respect, not getting enough requisites. So the Buddha and the Sangha are daily growing. They are respectful and they are really venerated. And many monasteries are coming up. All the people, kings, merchants are helping Buddha and the Sangha. Everything is really in a, growth. But other people, other ascetics found this very difficult to bear. We didn't even get enough food to eat. Not even robes to wear. No monasteries, not possible to even repair. So like that, they have a lot of problems now. So now they want to come up with a kind of a plan. So they found some people who are, kind of bandits or drunkards, and they have given them money and alcohol and all that. So the plan is, when the monks are going on Pindapata, they are going in a very pleasant, peaceful, Shanta, Danta way, they are going on Pindapata, no? So how these people are reacting? Now typically, when monks are approaching, the devotees are so respectful, they come forward, they take the ball, they, Bhante, I want to offer you, we were waiting for you, Bhante, please carry this flower also, I want to come and pay respect to you, many, the positive responses are there. But today, what happened? On that day, what happened? So these fellows were there, waiting for Sangha to come. They start using all the filthy words, blackguard whole thing. So the now Sangha was quite disturbed. And they were quite disgusted about what has happened, because, the Sangha typically expects kind of a veneration, expect kind of a respect. But when the opposite happened, they become really disturbed. Because they are used to the respect, but all of a sudden the opposite has happened. So everything has toppled. So they immediately went to the Buddha and start complaining, Bhante, this is the situation. So things have changed. We now even can't go on village Pindapata. These fellows are blaming us, criticizing us, using the filthy words. So let's leave this country. Let's leave this area. So did Buddha accept that? No, he put a really interesting verse in the Udana Pali. Game aranye sukha dukkha putto. Neva attato no parato daheta. Pusanti passa upading paticca nirupading kena puseyum passa. Game aranye sukha dukkha putto. Either you are in the forest, either you are in the, the city, you may go through all the ups and downs. Sukha dukkha, ups and downs. Different. You can't expect the complete happiness while in the forest. You can't expect complete calmness, silence, or all that in the forest. Things can change. You can't expect all happiness while in the city. Things can change. So either you are in the forest or either you are in the city. You have to go through all these vicissitudes of the life. But the advice is, Neva attano no parato daheta. Don't look at it personally. Don't take it personally. Now, if I say, okay, you are the one causing me unhappiness. I am suffering because of you. Now I am creating a self here. I am creating a self there also. I am entirely trapped in the Sakkaya Ditthi. Entirely trapped in a personality view. I am creating a self here. I am creating a self there. Neva attano no parato daheta. So how you get hurt, how you feel unhappy. Assume that in this example, so I am expecting a certain behavior, a certain favorable behavior towards me from the others. So because I feel that I am venerable, I feel that I am respectful, I am behaving this way, my sila is good, my meditation is good, I am a teacher, I am this and I am that thing. So I am supposed to be respected. So these are the areas that I create myself, isn't it? So these are the attributes I create as self. So someone is coming and complaining or blaming, criticizing exactly to this. Say someone is complaining, okay, you are useless, your teachings is useless, you are simply talking nonsense and this and that. So all criticisms are going to the areas which I highly venerate, highly uplifted or highly using to generate a self. Pusanti passa upading paticca. So Buddha mentioned, so based on those upadis, based on those acquisitions, which you have used to create a self, those are the real causes for you to get hurt. Say you are a father. So you did whole life, you have spent all your money, all your time for your children. Say you work hard, you work overtime, and you didn't spend much time for your happiness, but you always looked after your children. And say one day, your son, your daughter say, no, you haven't done anything for me. Get lost. How you feel? You may feel really broken heart, isn't it? Because you expect certain kind of a behavior from her, from him, because you deserve it. This is how I create a father character. I'm a father, I'm a good father. This is how I treated my children, so I'm a good father. They should understand my dignity, my respect, so they have to keep me on that position. But the moment that they give a different opinion, they behave in a different way, I feel completely collapsed. So the upadis are the ones that we create a kind of a self, we create a character, we create a model using those upadis. So those upadis are creating a real, cause for us to maintain that. The moment they are being attacked, we are really disturbed. Pusanti passa upadim paticca. But if there are no upadis, there is no self to maintain, then what? To which are they going to attack? Nirupadin kena pusayum passa. So Buddha is asking from the Sangha, if you are able to come to a level, there are no upadis at all. You are not creating a self at all, using any of the things. Because you have seen the non-self. All these are, created self, fabricated self, what we are time to time maintain, time to time act. But there is no intrinsic self for me or wherever. So once you understand that upadi patinisagga, abandoning of all these acquisitions, abandoning of all that attributes, then you are not maintaining a self at all. Then to what are they going to attack when there is no self? So when painful feelings are there, when hurtful feelings are there, so if we can recognize, okay, where the contact has happened, to which attribute have they touched, which button have they pressed, which area are they indicating, okay, which part of myself are they attacking? Is it the task that I did? Is it the complexion, the figure that I have, the rupa part, the form part I have? Okay, my children, my part. So, is that what they are attacking? My wealth, okay, that part are they attacking? Okay, my reputation, is that what they are attacking? So, we are using so many attributes to maintain this self. So, when we being hurt, if it is possible to look back, why exactly I am being hurt? recognizing hurtful feeling is one definitely good thing. And beyond that, if we can recognize how this hurt has happened, how this painful mental feeling has happened, how did I get hurt? Where did I look at it personally? Where did I take it personally? So then we are going to another level. So how I have created a self using many things, so this fellow has attacked exactly that. So they are the ones knowing exactly, okay, these are the areas this fellow going to be hurt, okay, I am attacking the same place, so you feel collapsed. So if at that moment, when it happens, when I get hurt, if I can understand, okay, this is the area still weaker in myself, I don't know how to handle it. Okay, let me learn now. Rather than crying, rather than worrying, rather than sorrowing, rather than cursing him, rather than blaming him, let me be mature more even to bear this. How about that then? Then they can't press the button. Even though they press the button, you feel not agitated, isn't it? So unagitated. Te sampahana na paritassati. Aparitassam sukhang viharati. Even things are collapsing, even things are, they are blaming, they are criticizing, they are attacking. No agitation, you feel comfortable. So, aparitassam sukhang viharati. You feel comfortable. They are blaming, by the way. They are criticizing, but you are with a pleasant smile. Sukha viharam bhikkhu tadanga nibbutoti uchati. So, the monk who is living like that is called tadanga nibbutoti uchati. The monk, the person, the yogi who has quenched himself, calmed down himself, made peace with every situation, because he has certain amount of wisdom. This is not a mere, kind of willful kind of patience. Someone can willfully be patient, okay, I need to be patient. Good, otherwise I'll be in trouble. So you can willfully stop yourself. But this is not that. This is something that you have recognized, that unattached state of mind. That's the most important thing. Now you have a different refuge than expecting kind of a favorable situation. Now say for example, someone is blaming. Why I am unhappy is because I expect praise, but now I get is a blame. So I am expecting for praise. So instead of expecting praise, how about keeping the mind unattached, unbound, not attached to anything, completely tranquil, completely equanimous, not holding any object at all, completely in a very relaxed state of mind, without any agitation, not even an object in the mind, completely open state of mind. How about that? You might get it in a glimpse, kind of a very short periods in your meditation, but how about developing that further and further? Say for example, while you are watching very minute different feelings arising and passing away, arising and passing away, arising and passing, you are observing very carefully observing. All of a sudden, everything stopped. Nothing is there. Feel like, something has happened. You didn't understand what has happened, but something happened. Next day also, you are doing it, observing very minute feelings arising and passing away. That again happened. The second time. A little bit of change. You understand, okay, something is going wrong here. I better ask, because something is going wrong. Because I was observing everything is arising and passing away, but all of a sudden things collapse. I feel like disoriented. Something is going wrong. Next time also you are trying to correct it, but it happened. This wrong thing happened. So wrong becomes the result. That you didn't expect that kind of experience, but it happens. It's repeatable now. Where you lose yourself, no thoughts, no much feelings, no experience of the body. You feel like, computer stuck, black screen. I don't know, depending on the operating system, you get that screen. Everything stuck. You move the mouse, you type the keyboard, no response. You switch off the monitor, again switch on, same screen, stuck. No movement. Mind stopped. No changes. But fully aware, by the way. So next time again and again happen, it becomes something familiar. Okay, you are going there while being ready. Okay, let it happen. I am ready now. So this is a new experience. Something unknown, which I didn't experience before, but now I am getting to know this unknown, little by little. So you are now experimenting this unknown area. New experience. Now unknown become your experiment. So you are developing all these different phenomena, and you are coming to this unknown area, just be. Okay, let me be there, just be. The moment you try too much, it collapses. Because if you fabricate that, if you start thinking about it, if you start being afraid of it, then again you mess it up. But the best thing is, let it go, be there, just be. Don't think, don't be doubtful, don't have any kind of an agitation, be happy, just be. The more and more you are maturing, unknown becomes the norm. Unknown now becomes the norm of your mind. So now you are completely changed. Okay, I was in a complete rut. Now only I understood, okay, this is possible. No friction, no self, no tension, no attachment, no here going and moving and any kind of agitation. Mind is resting. Complete peace is there. Very cool, very relaxed, very calm. Just let me enjoy it. Just enjoying the inner silence. So we can say, okay, this is the Tadanga Nibbhuti. So depending on the amount of wisdom we have, so the Vipassana knowledges are taking us to a temporary Nibbana, a temporary refuge, a temporary peace. But the moment I comes out, the moment kind of a doubt comes out, the moment I want to do this and that, I lose this. So I becomes the real intruder, I becomes the real problem at that level. The moment the I comes out, everything collapses. How to maintain no I? Without I, just be. Isn't it? Something like that. So, Tadanga Nibbhutoti Vachati. So now this is another area. So slowly yogi may understand. So that whatever maybe a kind of a feeling happens, now he understands how it is disappearing, how it is fading away. That fading away helps him to navigate to that area, navigate to that place. Nothing is there now. So you had a painful feeling, okay, now it is disappearing. Okay, you plunge into that. Maybe a thought, different thoughts are happening. You recognize passing away, okay, fading away, different thoughts. No thought. Stop. Be. Just be. Relax. Just be. Okay, with that I stop today's Dhamma sermon. Thank you very much for attentive listening. Okay, Punyānumodana. That is today. Today's breakfast dana donated by Taranga and Jayanta Rajapaksa, Nimalka Rajapaksa, passing merits to the parents passed away and passing blessings to all our children. And then offering of merits for Daval Dana offered by Priyani Gunawardana and son Sajitha Godagi. In memory of late Mr. S.L. Gunawardana, beloved father, grandfather's third death anniversary, and also blessings to lead a successful married life to Sajitha and Madara. Also to share the merits to the family members and friends who passed away. shared the merits for the members of the Mahasangha, ancestors who passed away. I think ancestors. Merits shared with the devas who protect us and Dhamma. We all realize the Dhamma. Sadhu, sadhu. The cake for morning tea was offered by Dayani Pereira to wish good health to her father Derek Pereira on his 96th birthday. Okay, these are the few notes on sharing of merits, and we have spent fair amount of time today also, spending some time in discussing Dhamma, listening to Dhamma, practicing Dhamma. All the merits that we have accumulated, let's share with all celestial beings, all past relatives, and whoever in need of merits. And we wish these merits help us also to understand Buddha's teaching and to attain path, fruition, Nibbana. We'll recite the traditional verses. Ettavatacha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhiya. Ettavatacha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhiya. Ettavatacha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhiya. Kākāsattha ca bummattha devānāgā mahiddhikā puññantang anumoditva cirang rakkhantu sāsanang. Ākāsattha ca bummattha devānāgā mahiddhikā puññantang anumoditva cirang rakkhantu desanang. Ākāsattha ca bummattha devānāgā mahiddhikā puññantang anumoditva cirang rakkhantu mam parang. Idang vo ñātīnaṁ hotu sukitā hontu ñātayo. Idang vo ñātīnaṁ hotu sukitā hontu ñātayo. Idang vo ñātīnaṁ hotu sukitā hontu ñātayo. Imina punya kammena māme bāla samāgamo satang samāgamo hotu yāva nibbāna pattiyā. Imina punya kammena māme bāla samāgamo satang samāgamo hotu yāva nibbāna pattiyā. Imina punya kammena māme bāla samāgamo satang samāgamo hotu yāva nibbāna pattiyā. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.